text me and I'll text you back.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
You text me then I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-964-5243. You know. 205-964-5243. You know.
Good afternoon and welcome to September. What is the date? 28th.
8th. Yep.
Yeah, 28th. It's Kelly Wednesdays, and sorry about that. Yeah. Huh?
Oh, I was saying it's okay. I was gonna adjust my screen. So
no, we good. We know we informal here. Ain't got no option but to be that way. Know nothing about production.
So something's going on with the Twitch, but they said they think.
Oh yeah, they said they were down.
Okay, I'm just gonna remove it from the thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about real estate investing. Today's topic is what is it? Motivated. You got a motivated seller in a contract, cash buyer in the contract. What's next? The good part. All right. So but here we're talking about real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesale and real estate. We have Kelly here to share her expertise in many areas. If you want to join us on the live, text the word Gator to the number 205-964-5243. That gets you pushed to the front of the line. You can ask multiple questions. It's a wonderful thing. We go live on these times, Monday through Wednesday, 3:45 p.m. Easternish, 8:05 p.m. on Thursday, Easternish, meaning around that time, what the ish means. We don't ask for much. So anyway, follow, like, share. Here we go. And subscribe. Follow, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We don't ask for much, but we try to give out a lot of value. The paperwork video from yesterday was a training, I guess, more of a training. But text the word contract to the number. Turn the phones off. Text the word contract to the number to get access to the contract. I've been using since 2003, given away since 2008. You can get free access to that along with training on how to use it for sellers and buyers and how to get it signed in a matter of clicks virtually. So what else we got? This set of videos here will get you going in the right direction. There's a lot of videos, but these set will build a foundation that will get you going in the right direction. So text VIP to the number for this particular playlist. Two other things. You want to use text messages in a form of generating leads to cash more checks to find more sellers, motivated sellers. People always say, well, how do you find the sellers that the properties are off market, blah, blah, blah. This is one video that's going to show you. That same list that you'll build for text messaging, you can use for cold calling. So text the word dialer to the number to put your cold calling on steroids also.
Okay.
What's going on, Kelly?
Oh, hump day. What's going on your way?
None. I just got that text you sent. We ain't got to discuss it, but wow, okay. Wow, he had been saying he was been sick or whatever. Okay. Wow. Dang, just like that. Wonder what, dang. Should I be drinking this?
Probably not. Look at the sugar content in those.
Well, it says no added sugar.
I told Ty to go see a doctor just to get a physical so he knows what his numbers are.
I didn't see a doctor. They said, man, your blood is amazing. I said, well, you must don't drink or smoke. I said, I don't.
Don't say that too loud now. You know, they be doing a lot on these interwebs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start at the top. Don't waste it on yourself.
Oh no, I don't do that. Mess my little shirt up.
All right.
Need a bib.
Oh, we got some. Remember? Aren't they still here?
I bet we can't find
Oh,
them.
you do have a bed. Yeah,
We
can
got a
find
few
some.
of them.
Yeah.
Stop it. Don't be shady. Okay.
Mhm.
This one's from Chris. He said, on your program, do you supply the contract? And I see a 3-step program that teach me how to find houses to flip and how do I get started? That's 3 questions. Let's talk about the contract first.
Right here. Here we go, baby. Contract. CONTRACT. No S. Contract. Text the word contract. Boom. You can get it for free without spending a dime, my man. What else? What was the other question?
All right. So you have a 3-step program that teaches them how to find houses to flip.
See.
Okay.
But again, thought I had the VIP in here. Anyway, text VIP, you can get all for free, man. That's what I'm trying to say. Text the word VIP, the letters VIP.
And that's how you get started, basically. So.
That's it. Yeah, there you go.
All right, everybody saying what's up, Footman and
What's up to you
family.
all?
Hello, Ty. Hello, everyone. They said California's in the building, Georgia, Louisiana, Kansas City, Missouri, Delaware. Let's keep going. Somebody said early is on time and on time is late, period. And that's word to Dr. Lee. New York. Okay, this one says, hi, Footman. Pamela Chambers here. I sent a signed deal to you via deal letter 2 days ago. When can I expect to hear back?
Ladies.
It's actually a you question, Jessica.
It probably
That's what I
is.
said. That's why I said ladies.
Honestly, I've probably looked at it. So let me see. I remember your name, Pamela. So yeah. Soon, child. Soon.
That ain't no answer.
Soon.
Let me look. Let's see where.
Yeah. I can't go to it now.
Kelly gonna look it up.
I'm gonna help you out.
What's the last name?
Chambers.
Okay, yeah, that's easy.
All right. This one says, Flip, I've been on a binge and you have a lot of videos. Would you by chance have more of the practical videos, such as the live phone call videos? I think you've posted that one like 5 or so years back.
I think I got about 3 of those. I don't like doing a lot of that because that is someone's infringing on someone's privacy, and even though I blocked out their names and the address and stuff. I got 3 of them. And they ain't gonna be much different than that.
Okay. Let's see. This one's from Dig. They said, hi, Footman. Wanted to know what market are you interested in purchasing / JVing deals? Appreciate your response.
Everywhere there's a lot of people, so decent sized cities on houses anyway.
Well, you already kind of just answered that. But this person on TikTok asks, should you wholesale in rural areas? The decent sized city. So.
Kelly?
Okay.
You think?
I would say, unless you're extremely familiar with that area, I guess we need to define rural. If it has less than 100,000 people there, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, and I would definitely, and I would say that is, especially if you're doing it virtually, it wouldn't even be it would be a no-go. I would suggest you not focus on that area. Now, if this is where you live, I would implement a very, which is great because you're here, but I would implement a no cost marketing, because you can basically go to events and do word of mouth and tell people you're buying property and do some driving for dollars. I say no cost marketing, like low cost marketing, money, things like that, or either bandit signs. But it's going to be tough because who is going to be your buyer, right? Your buyers are going to be the people that are probably looking that are already there. There's not a lot of people moving there or renting there. So you got to kind of take all of that into consideration. So do I suggest? I wouldn't suggest it, especially if you're just starting out, because I think we broke down the numbers like a few months ago. Like based on just numbers alone, on a certain amount of population, you might get, a couple of deals, like a handful of deals in a year's time, and don't know what the spread would be. But I would focus on larger markets. Obviously, there's going to be more competition in those markets, but you have the opportunity where there's going to be a lot of activity there, and you want to go where there's people to buy from and people to sell to.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to eat consistently. And like you said, $100,000, you probably could do a deal a month. I mean, 100,000 population, maybe. You can, maybe, maybe. But when you start talking about like towns I'm from or just areas I'm from, where you have cities less than 1,000 people, so when they say rural, that's normally the definition I'm going with. I'm from like real rural. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Yeah, what they call them when you pass through there? Anyway, we got one traffic light too many, and a caution light.
And a what?
A caution light.
A caution light. Okay.
Yeah. One traffic light too many. They don't even need that one. I don't even know why they have it. But anyway, so no, you can't get down in those areas. The only thing you may could do, but it's gonna be like you may be covering a couple of counties. You may could do some little land stuff. It's gonna be probably more opportunities with that. Mobile homes are normally big in areas like that, so you may have to really understand that game. You know what I saw interesting, Kelly? And I took a photo of it. I said I was gonna call them. I was over on 280. I was just turning off to try to, back door, avoid some traffic. And I saw a sign and it says, what did it say? Free mobile home removal. I said, oh, that's interesting. I took the picture. I ain't called them, but that's interesting.
Do they
so
keep
I guess
the mobile home? Is that why it's free? Do they keep the mobile home? Is that
yes. Yeah, that's what they mean. It ain't gonna be no, hey, I need to move this mobile home because we finna move to this location. Nah, it's free. Now we coming to get it. That's our pay, is the mobile home. You know what I'm saying? They probably make their decision on the ones they'll move or not. They probably won't move the ones that they can't make money on or whatever. Because sometimes they're so raggedy, you can't move them. They'll tear apart. But probably anything they can literally move, they can put it somewhere, Kelly, probably into a park and, do their renovations on and, hey, they'll recoup their investment. Because one of the issues with quote unquote wholesaling mobile homes is that coming up with a value a lot of times, and even with that, the move, if it has to be moved, if the land is not included with it, which it becomes just a regular deal if land is included with it, but if it has to be moved, the move of the mobile home may cost more than what the mobile home is worth. So now what is your end game at that point? What is the potential buyer's end game? If he's all in $15,000 with the purchase of the mobile home and the move of it, and he's putting it on the property and renting out, okay, then yeah, and then it's not in that bad of a condition, really livable, just do a little TLC on, then yeah, you got a good rental property at that point. $15,000 investment, you can rent it out for $600-$700. That wouldn't be a bad probably play at that point or whatever. So, but if it's a situation where again, it needs to be moved, and it's really only a $500 mobile home, and you can run into those, a lot of those, because mobile homes depreciate like automobiles. They don't appreciate if land is not included with. Well, it's not gonna appreciate anyway. It's the land is gonna appreciate. So I don't know if I answered the question, but what do you think?
Yeah, no, like the mobile home in the rural area that play as well, and then also I assume that in the rural areas, it's gonna be you're gonna have to link up with someone that is gonna do some owner financing, because I see that as more of a rental opportunity. So you're gonna have, it's gonna be a lot of owner finance where people rent and they stay for years. But it's just like I said, deals gonna be, you got to get creative, and the deals will be
Scarce.
yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. But we have this thing they call the internet. You're not limited to that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're here. So, but yeah, it's going to be scarce. It's all about people. That's why when people say, "Where should I start?" Blah blah blah. You pick any city of the decent size and start. Obviously, some cities may be a little bit more attractive than others, but one thing Tyrone does know is that people die everywhere. Everywhere. They get divorced everywhere, right? You're going to have tired landlords everywhere. I can just go down the line. Just life situations create motivated sellers. So now what you need is enough people to pull from. That's what you need, just enough people. So the larger the city, the more opportunities, period. You know, you're in some of these gigantic markets, Dallas, Atlanta, LA, you don't ever have to go outside of those markets and make as much money you possibly can stand. Or they're just so vast with the number of people that own real estate that you can target. Just a numbers game. Life creates motivated sellers, period. You just got to let them know you exist in some form of fashion.
All right, this is on Instagram. They said, do you anticipate the Florida hurricane impacting the wholesale market in Florida in a positive or negative way, or no effects at all?
Well, I would say any.
Oh my God.
Dramatic pause.
I don't want to say a positive or negative way.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I mean, you know, first things first. I mean, I don't know what people do, but you definitely need to keep people that are in these areas, you know, in your thoughts, because, you know, it's tough. You never know how it's going to impact their lives. It's going to be people that can't afford to have another bad situation happen to them. But huh?
Yeah, that's ball game. You know what I'm saying? That hurricane is the ball game. You know,
Yeah.
the insurance wasn't paid or ball game. You know, I had to miss some work. Yeah, I had to miss some work. You're not gonna get paid this week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the next couple of weeks. You know, that may not have nothing to do with your actual house that you live in, but well, we're talking about real estate, so it may be not the house is in damage or anything, but because you had to be off 2 weeks work because there's no power, you know, and so the boss is like, well, we wasn't working, so I can't pay you or whatever. That may be ball game for some people or whatever. So, as I just said, life creates motivated sellers. You know, this hurricane was, you know, now some people it would be a blessing in some form or fashion or whatever, but for others, it's ball game as far as a potential opportunity for you as a wholesaler. But how it would affect the wholesaler, I have no idea. There's no way for me to know that. But there will be opportunities in a number of ways. Someone that's been through, let me see. I've been here, so I to actually go through a hurricane and be without power for about a month. It's terrible. It's oh my God, it's terrible. Um, oh, it is terrible. And then it's normally warm still, you know, when hurricanes occur. So, well, we didn't have air back then, so it didn't even matter to us. But you know, you just going through all of that. This ain't related with what y'all had. I'm just reminiscing on the situation of a hurricane. It's terrible, man. It is terrible. But answer the question, kill them all over the place. Go ahead.
I mean, well, what they just saw is the mindset of someone that's going through that. Is terrible. They're going to be so if you don't come in a position to help someone, if you're not thinking about how I can help someone, you're not gonna. It doesn't matter what happens in that area. Nobody is going to want to. You got to be able to trust people to do business with them and know them. And if you don't have that or that trust factor, they're not going to want to do business with you. So you got to come from a position of wanting to help people. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people after these natural disasters happen that are going to need help. And so, yes, being able to provide help to them, and this doesn't just be about wholesaling their house. Go down and help with some relief. That and actually give back, and then cultivate some real relationships. Through just you helping and being a good steward of the community. But yeah, there are always opportunities. People always want to move on. Whether it's it goes in line with like fire damage, natural disasters, all that goes in line with some people want to rebuild, some people just want to move on.
All right. This is on TikTok. This person asks, is there a difference in figuring out deals from fix and flip and buy homes?
Yes. There, but you always want to evaluate a deal with this highest and best use. So whether you are in a situation, so if you have a house though that is move-in ready, pretty much that all it needs is a light clean, or it's pretty much turnkey to a certain degree, then yeah, honestly, a fix and flip, it'll be out because it wouldn't be anything to fix, so you wouldn't be able to flip it unless you can just get it at a really good price to flip it as far as a numbers perspective. And when we do that, we usually use a higher percentage, so we don't always go to like that 65 of ARV or 70% of ARV. We'll go maybe to like a 75, 80, maybe 85, depending on what market it is for ARV. And then obviously your repair cost is going to be the same. It's just either a big number or a small number. But when it's a fix and flip, you definitely want to stick with that 65 and to 70, even in some markets, even down to 50%, depending on what the market is doing in that area of the ARV, if it's like a fix and flip type of scenario where it needs work to it.
All right. So this one, it says, I'm new to this. What is JV?
Oh, congratulations on being on the show. Look at you. JV is joint venture. So it means that you are partnering up with another wholesaler. Maybe that wholesaler has a seller, a contract, and you have a buyer, or flip it. Maybe you have the seller and you need someone with the buyer, and you basically come together to get the deal done, and you split the wholesale fee. The same is true all through real estate transactions with realtors. Most of the time, there's either a listing agent and a selling agent. Most of the time, you don't see an agent that really focuses on both, because one is always going to find buyers and the other one is always going to find sellers, and they split the commission 50-50 when they sell the property. Same is true with JV. When you have one wholesaler that focuses on acquisition and another that focuses on disposition, they come together and then they split the wholesale fee. But if you're good at both, then you just keep the whole thing.
She ain't new. No, I'm just messing with her.
Oh.
I'm just saying she's been here a few days or whatever, but she's new. Joint venture.
Well, she's doing good. You already recognize her name.
Yeah. She's been very, very active in asking her questions, as I would do the same if I was starting out and this was available. The number of days that we try to do it or whatever, I would do the same thing. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. You're trying to learn. You're actively here trying to learn. So, and we're here to answer your questions. Thanks for joining us.
She said thank you. Mm-hmm. All right. This one says, what's your strategy to keep and maintaining success, and what's been your fails that you've learned from? So what things have you failed at that you've learned from in your career?
That's a good question. So my strategy to maintaining success is always having your money moving. You don't want your money to be at rest. If it's just sitting in your bank account, it is losing value. As you can see, inflation is going up. Like the money that if you have a savings account, your money is worth less now than it was a year ago. So you always want to keep your money moving. You always want to keep it, obviously I'm not a financial advisor. I don't want to give any investment advice, but I just know that a money that is on the move is going to make you more money. You want your money working for you. Money is a tool. So that's the best thing of like keeping success, because whenever there gets to a part where if you're not actively able to go make active income and you have to rely on some type of passive income, then if you don't have any passive income, then how are you going to make active income if something happens to you, whether it's health reasons, family reasons, or whatever the case may be? How are you going to continue to feed yourself and your family? So the biggest thing I would say is make sure that your money is always working for you. And then the other one is so many fails. I write about those all the time. I mean, I've been doing real estate for a while, and even just other businesses. Like I've had businesses fail. I've lost a lot of money, and when I say a lot of money, six figures plus. But I'm always, you gotta stay. If you've got to decide and commit to whatever you're doing in life. If that's really what you want to do, if you're passionate about it, and so you just gotta stay committed, because the failures are learning lessons. You're gonna learn. It was just your tuition to get bumped on your head. But if this is not for you, if you're not willing to learn and fail, then you probably should go work for someone that can minimize your risk a little bit more, because this can get very what's the stress? Well, I don't want to use those words, but you can have a lot of learning lessons in this business, but you gotta remember that I'm gonna graduate from it some kind of way. And if you graduate from it by actually reflecting about what you did wrong and come back stronger, then that's how you get to the next level.
Yeah.
I got a story time coming from you, Ty.
I remember
Keep it short.
I was trying to remember this saying this teacher we had in high school used to say, and I didn't get it back then because I knew nothing about finances. When he said, when your outgo exceeds your income, then something will be your downfall. But basically saying live below your means is what he was basically saying in a nutshell. I know that sounds like, well, everybody knows that. Yeah, well, everybody may know that, but a lot of folks don't do it, right? For just to maintain success, if you want to call it that, for me, because I'm not the most organized person, so have to just keep a lot of activity to make money in spite of, right? I'm not saying anybody else should operate that way, but I just know me as a weakness. So I'm always trying to, network with individuals, partner with individuals that can do things that you're weak at. If you want to take anything out of that, that's on the quote unquote success side of it, I guess you would say. And the first part of what I just said is that you need to just be good steward of your money. Like as Kelly said, you want to try to do as many things as possible to make your money make money or whatever. So but just understand this entrepreneurial stuff is not for everybody, which is fine. That's what makes the world go round. You have to get comfortable with, and in each business is different, but you have to get comfortable with not knowing when your next payday is going to happen. Now, if you're in a retail business where you got to basically make money to make the business work, that's one thing. But in this real estate business, we get money in chunks. So, you have to manage it accordingly. And so when I first got started, I didn't know that, you know, there could be such a thing as a downturn or a change. I don't even call it a downturn, just a change in the market. So I started in 2003. So when 2000, late 2007, 08, 09 happened, I didn't know that was possible. And so even though I was making a decent amount of money, yeah, I was living that way, you know, and I'm not a wild person, but you can, let me see how to put this. You can have enough people in your life that the money could be going out more than what it should. You know what I'm saying? You can have too many extra people in your life. Let me just say that. So that's how I was living at the time. And so when that happened, for real estate investors, when quote unquote everybody else saying the market is crashing, that's the time when you get flat out rich. Because normally there's going to be a lot of even more opportunities out there to get your hands or get involved in cheap real estate. And so, because one thing we do know, as time has shown us, that it's going to go up or whatever, even though it may get discounted at some point or a price adjustment or whatever, a market correction, it's going to go back up. So you have to be positioned. Part of one of the reasons why you want to be a good steward of your bread is so you can take advantage of those opportunities when they present themselves in a so-called market crash or downturn or whatever. So.
All right. All right. The next one says, do you accept subject to deals through Deal You Later?
Yeah, I guess we do. What do you think, Kim?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to think how the form is. There's a notes section, I believe. Let me just make sure that I say this before I tell you how to do that. So there's a conditions section in the area. You'll want to write in basically what the entry fee would be, meaning what is the wholesaler fee that you worked in on it, what is the down payment that you have worked out with the seller, and any other type of fees like liens or back taxes or anything else, and then put what the terms are. So is it a fixed rate, an interest rate? Is it over 30 years, 10 years? Does it have balloons? Like add all of that in there plus the monthly payments. So basically give all the details that you can about what the sub-to deal is. And it'd be tough. We'll want to, I don't know if you've already would have had it, but you'll want to also be prepared to supply like documents like a 10-day write-offs, mortgage pay statement or something that shows what the mortgage is and the payments are, and submit all that over and we'll review it. It's gonna be, I don't know if the characters, if there's gonna be a character, if it truncates it in the conditions area, at least put in the conditions area, this is a subject to deal, and then we'll contact you to get those additional details if it doesn't allow you to give all that information in that spot. Do you know what the character size is? I bet it's like 140. When I thought about it, I was like, I bet it's like 140.
What? As far as what?
In that field for the conditions on the form for the deal.
I don't think it has a limit.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. Put all the information in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it has a limit.
All right, this one came from Ant Cruz. He said, "Hey, what's up, Flipman? How do we get someone under contract without having a buyer committed to their asking price?"
That mean a seller? They mean a seller under contract without a buyer I'm not sure. Well, let me explain. All right, so assuming you have no buyers list and you got to find a real estate deal, you put in the contract. Assuming you have a great deal, okay, the internet is powerful when you're trying to give away money, because that's basically what you're doing whenever you're promoting a great real estate deal, right? And then someone will pay you to get out of the way of that money. Okay, so you'll just market your deal. Obviously you can send it through us. We'd love to work with you on it. That's one thing. But assuming you didn't want to do that, then you want to join as many wholesale groups nationwide and local to the market where the property is located. it's free, so you might as well use Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes it's a hit or miss or whatever. Craigslist, the same thing. All right, you want to leverage Google. Just go whatever the name of the city is and say "sell my house fast" in the name of the city. Those first 2 or 3 pages of results are going to be real players in that market. Some of them are going to be national, some of them are going to be local to that market. You reach out there. If you text the word buyers, BUYERS, to 205-964-5243, I have a video to show you how to leverage relationships that realtors have with flippers. So not having a buyer for the deal is not a deal breaker. A lot of people do it that way or whatever. And they may even have a buyer's list. They still go through the process I just went through so they can continue to build that buyer's list, even though they may already know who may take it off their hands. They still may promote the deal or whatever. So it continues. You allow one of the ways to build a buyer's list to allow your great deals to attract more buyers. You can only sell to one person, but those other people will be when they reach out to you, it's an opportunity to add to your buyers list because people get in and out of the business or whatever. So, but yeah, so that's not an issue. Hopefully I'm answering the question the way it was posed or whatever. So.
All right, we got a couple questions on Instagram. So the first question, they said, do you use your phone? Do you use a certain platform for people to text to keep it off your personal phone? Like on this video, for example.
Okay, now this is different. The number that you see me advertise at 205-964-5243. I use a service called Community. When I first started, it was really great because it allows you to text unlimited. You just pay a flat rate depending on how many people you have on your list. And you can text as much as you want. Then they changed it. I could have figured that was going to happen. It was too good to be true. The hustle is real. But the number's out there, so I got to go with it now. But that's that. Now, if you're trying to find actual real estate deals, trying to target motivated sellers, then this is your option right here, right?
All right. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, could they see that in the frame? I couldn't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was showing it to the Instagram people. I'm sorry. Boom. Boom. Boom.
All right. This is for both of you guys, I guess. How do I determine if a property is worth the liens it has?
So you'll just basically add that equation, and if you don't want to like overcomplicate it for yourself, add it in as part of the repair cost. Because obviously you'll have to remedy those liens. So whatever the repair cost for the house to rehab or fixed up condition, and then add your lien amounts in there as well. And then you'll be able to know if it's worth it, and you'll just factor that into what your asking price is.
All right, this is back on Instagram. How can I get the earnest money deposit if I deal with the agent? I know they usually want a decent amount.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna want earnest money, and they're gonna want usually proof of funds as well. So I know that, like, Ty, do you have a service for
that? What were they looking for particularly?
I don't know if you have a card for proof of funds.
Oh yeah, just POF. Just text POF to the number, and that'll get you going.
Now, you would have to have earnest money. Believe it or not, though, there are investors out there that would spot you the earnest money. Obviously, you'll have to pay it back within a short period of time plus interest. Usually they'll want it back within 30 to 45 days, but there are investors out there that will supply you earnest money. So there's it's always a way to make a deal work. But if you depend on what your credit is, if you have business credit cards, or if you have started your LLC, now this is meaning that you've been in it for a while, you can use those to pull it off of that to use it. And then by the time, your credit statement comes back, you just pay yourself back whenever the deal closes. But do that only when you know you have a good deal. but you can leverage your business credit card because you're using it for business purposes to pay those earnest monies. But you can always negotiate earnest money as well, but they're going to want to they're not going to basically review most offers unless they have earnest money and proof of funds when you actually submit your offer, and they're going to be looking for your earnest money to go into escrow within 5 to 7 business days.
All right. This is another question on Instagram. Would it be best for me to get my license? I'm in Arkansas.
It depends on the situation. Although I'm licensed, I never thought I would have my license. I used to be so against it because I didn't want to muddy the waters. But once I learned a lot of the, especially Alabama contract law and the regulations, I realized, okay, I know how I can do this and still sell real estate and invest in real estate and do it all under, with as me as part of each entity. I would say you would need to definitely talk to someone that's in Arkansas that's doing what you're looking to do, because I don't know all the Arkansas laws, and see how they're doing it. And then, but are you looking to make this part of your, like, this is all I do. All I do is talk about real estate, and this is all I've done for a while. If this is not something that you plan on doing like full time, then I wouldn't suggest you get your license. I would suggest you just wholesale some properties and invest in some properties and do what you are really passionate about.
All right, this one came from X Gamer Chris on YouTube. He said, "Flip, I've really been struggling harder than ever with depression. I'm always dead broke. I don't know what ways to make money in real estate wholesaling. Please help me get started. Can you make an updated, up-to-date real estate wholesaling course?"
Okay. Number one, on the updated course, we just recently did that. Not even been a year ago, so ain't nothing changed since then. As far as your situation, said about depression or whatever, I'm not a doctor or psychiatrist. I don't know what else you may have going on in your life to contribute to that. First thing I would want to know is, with anyone that's trying to pursue this, you always have to ask yourself, what am I doing on a daily basis to generate leads? Period. Okay, so once you can answer that question, I could probably tell you a lot with where you're lacking at on this. I don't think more information is going to help you, because it's literally all here on my YouTube channel. So it can't be that. So you have to ask yourself, what are you doing based on your resources, your time, to generate more leads? If you know that's nothing, then that's more of I need more information. I'm not actually putting the information into action. The reason why we talk about all of these different methods of generating leads, because it's so important to the business, whether it's co-wholesaling, JVing, or whatever you want to call it, whether it's driving for dollars, bandit signs, text messaging, cold calling, going through agents, running Facebook ads, Google AdWords, direct mail. All of those methods that I'm speaking of is to let people that own real estate know you exist. That's the only way you're going to do deals, right? In some form or fashion, people have to know you exist. And the numbers will play out at that point. That I'm not going to say you don't want to operate like this, but at some point you'll just run into a deal. You don't even know what you're doing or whatever. But you got to create that activity to do so. So the question is, they ask a question, so I have to ask a question back to that person. What are you doing on a daily basis to generate daily leads? Are you talking to, are you at least making 5 offers per day in some form or fashion to somebody that owns real estate? Are you doing that? It makes it very difficult if you're not. Very difficult to do deals. Even if you were doing 1 a day, that would go a long way. So without knowing that question, it's hard for me to try to help them there. Hopefully, what I said may help, but it's hard not to have a more in-depth conversation on it.
And if I can just add a little bit to the mindset pieces, I want you to develop a routine, a daily routine every day where it's just for your mindfulness. My routine every day, I don't care if I'm running late for things. I take, even if it's just 10 minutes, to speak affirmations over my life. So you have to speak these things. If you say that you are in a depression and you are broke, then that is what you're going to receive. So you have to change the conversation with yourself and say that I am just in a state of a downward state. I will come out of this state. I'm going to be the most productive person that I've ever been in my life. I'm in a great mood. Even if I don't feel well now, I will feel well in the morning. You have to start speaking life over yourself, and start saying things. I am a millionaire, or I will have all my bills paid, or all of my bills are paid. Start speaking that over yourself now. And I know it sounds weird. Look yourself in the mirror, write it down, journal about it, but you have to start some type of routine where you're just in a mindfulness, where you're speaking positive things over your life, because you won't get out of it. Because the problem is not you haven't done any deals in real estate. The problem is the mindset. You have to change your mindset before you can ever get anywhere in this, in anything that you do, honestly. So I definitely want you to take a step back and look at what your self-care routine is, and see how you can make adjustments. And if you have a support system, let that guard down. Allow someone that you trust to know what you feel, so that they can be there to help you with your mindfulness every day, and to remind you, and to speak good things over yourself, and to remind you to do the same as well for yourself. So that's where I would definitely start if I was you, is to get you a really great routine, and make sure that you you motivate yourself. And then once that happens, once you're able to clear that blockage, because that's all that's happening right now. All this information that we're providing will be very clear. And you just take acorns. It takes acorns to make an oak tree. So once you start collecting enough acorns, then you will have your oak tree.
All right, it's a word. Um, all right, this one came from Tay Babe, but she put it in the private chat. She said, "Hey, Flip Man, I have endless properties on my list, but I'm having trouble finding owners. What am I able to do with this list?"
Okay, well, a thing you could do to search for owners. Well, number one, you want to always try to tap into the county courthouse. That information is free. Just you some of those websites are not user friendly, so just keep that in mind. So you want to tap into that information first, by going to the courthouse option first, because it's free. Now, if you want to put it on steroids, speed it up, get more information, be able to analyze property, so on, then just text the word vacant, VACANT, to the 205-964-5243. And that video, which it was a prop stream video, whatever, but it'll show you how to use the tool to do all of that, to discover who owns it, and go into a little bit more detail. So take the free option first, but if you want to get more detailed about the property and what to do next, then that particular video is going to, send you in the right direction.
All right, this one came from Jose Gonzalez. He said, "Do you have to deposit your own money when it comes with the earnest money of the sale price and also the option fee?"
Yes. Now, when you say own money, I mean, I just answered before. There are people that will be willing to invest small sums of money for earnest money. Again, they're going to want to look at the deal. It's going to be, they're going to want to know your experience. But yes, you can use your own money, or you can bring in partners that have cash readily and available. They're looking for investment opportunities to invest as well. Also, yes, the option fee. There are some states that require option fee, and again, that needs to be a smoking good deal, because the option fee is gonna always be non-refundable. Like once you pay it, it's done.
right.
I guess I shouldn't say always. I shouldn't use that type of terms, but most of the time it's going to be non-refundable.
Okay, so let's see. This one says, just found you. I'm new to wholesaling. I got a motivated seller. I can't read today. A motivated seller list in Houston, but I haven't heard from my mentor in 3 weeks. I guess he's asking what he should do.
Okay, so he has a motivated seller list. I guess when you say a motivated seller list, I would like to know more about that list. Who are you targeting? But you're here in the right place. I don't know who's mentoring me. I don't think it's me. But
Call them out. Just kidding.
call him out. Call that joke out.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
seriously, you do
talking
need
about
to
me. I know he's talking about me. You really just want to leverage all of this content. You probably already have a general understanding of what's supposed to happen. Obviously, you're taking advantage of being here today, and we're here 4 days a week. So, but leverage these videos here by texting the word VIP or the letters VIP to the number. That's going to get you really going the right direction. Ask your questions in the comment section of any of the YouTube videos. I answer those on a daily basis. So just take advantage of all of this free content, the time that I've put into it, and others that help me do this, and you'll get where you need to do. I ain't gonna say you don't need that mentor, but if they've already disappeared, they're not an option anyway. So just leverage all this free game, and you'll get where you want to go. Just understand it takes patience. But you got to put the work in to build your foundation first.
All right. I got some more. This one says, I think I'm ready to venture out into a new market. What area of the United States would you guys recommend that I start venturing into? What's hot right now?
Well, I don't know which market you're already in, but some really hot markets just in general are obviously the Atlanta area, and I used to say like 45 minutes, but it's starting to get about an hour away from Atlanta. I just heard some news that they're going to be putting in a train that goes from Atlanta to Macon, Georgia, which is going to be crazy if that is true. But that Atlanta area out to an hour is a good area. Ohio, Cleveland, especially is a good area. It's a high cash on cash returns. Dallas is a crazy market right now. I don't know why, but Dallas is kind of like the connector of the East and West. Like it's like where the East and West Coast kind of comes and becomes this mid Southwest kind of area. The market is always going to be hot in Los Angeles. It's just very expensive to get into. But it always appreciates. That's why it's always a hot area. See, just think of some other ones off the top of my head. I mean, we're in Alabama, but Huntsville, Birmingham, especially Huntsville and Birmingham, are steady markets. A lot of people look over those type of markets, and then down in the Mobile Gulf Shores area, where it's a lot of like Airbnbs and more like higher end vacation homes, that market is booming as well. So, but those are some hot areas that I would suggest. And then obviously I missed the whole state of Florida. See, it's tough when you start naming things. Like Florida is a stable market, especially around that. Most people probably think I say South Florida, but honestly, going up towards the Tampa, Clearwater, and then Orange County as well, and then Jacksonville, Florida, has become like one of the largest cities in the U.S. That area is really great. It's great because it's growing a lot as well. So it's kind of tough because you can run through a lot of people say different cities for different reasons, but that's the ones that come to my mind just without like having a list in front of me.
All right. This one says, I'm having the biggest problem on analyzing deals. I watched your 3 videos, but this is the only thing holding me back. I've seen a few of these recently.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, and I teach that with the team a lot. Honestly, that's probably the number one thing that we go over all the time because it's and even with Ty and I, like I'll ask Ty sometimes, like, what did you get? It's kind of like, what answer did you get on the test? Because, I mean, seriously, because it can be.
Why are you crying?
Unless she's cheating.
But I would say, if that is becoming a problem and it's causing you to halt your process of getting through deals, then you can always, and I don't like to tell people like change what they're doing, but start focusing on buyers. Find you some buyers and let them tell you what they'll pay for the property. And then once you have the cheat code, then you don't have to do any numbers. You just know that when you look at this property in this certain area in the zip code, you know what your buyer will pay for it, and that's how you negotiate your deal.
All right. Let's do one more, I guess, then we can do the topic. And then I see you, Kay, in the Gator room, but if you want to join, you have to have your camera and your mic turned on. This one says, why don't you guys rely on off-market homes? Why do you guys rely on off-market homes over on-market in dealings with realtor?
I don't think we rely on any of them. We rely on good deals, right?
Yeah, that's the name of the game. It's just in the past, I would push off market, and I still do, but and that was more because I know newbies, they dealing with an agent, and if you don't know what you're talking about, they could literally like shame you out of doing this or whatever. And so I try to avoid that, but obviously since I've hooked up with Privy, we're trying to promote it more because it's a tool that can be used to somewhat give you an idea of what makes sense as a deal, because it may be listed close to a number that works, and an offer wouldn't be considered ridiculous to it. So and then we open up to try to help you with that. So but that's the main reason. And then but anytime that you can deal directly with the decision maker with no one else's influence, that's always going to be the best option. But I'm not going to say always. In most cases, going to be the best option. Would you agree, Kelly? When you can deal direct with the person that's going to make the decision without anyone else's influence, because an agent is going to have an influence, whether that's in your favor or not, but it's going to have an influence. But if I can just deal with the person that owns a piece of real estate versus someone else saying, well, hey, I think we need to wait or blah, 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 it's not always going to be in most cases into your favor. So that's why we say off market in most cases, because you're dealing directly with the person that owns the piece of real estate without anyone else's influence. So,
may I add something?
Yes.
We have somebody on Dealulator that sends us deals that are on market, and then they complain. They ask us, "Did you take our deal? Did you steal our deal?" No. If your deal is on market, anybody can get your deal. Anybody can buy it.
Oh, that's an understatement.
So do not, don't think that we're stealing your deal. It's on market.
Yes. And if I can add to that, if you're sending us on market deals and they're not locked up under a contract, honestly, we're probably not, because we're already, as you see, so many people are asking, like, what's the status of my deal? We are already like maxed out. So if you're sending on market deals that you don't have under contract, we're doing a better job at responding back on what we will and won't consider. But those are the types that we're not going to consider, just because like Oksana said, like they're on market, anybody can have it, and they're not locked up under a contract. Now, if you've locked it up under a contract, and especially if you have negotiated where it's less than what the list price is and you've negotiated a deal, then we'll look at it. But if it's on the market and it's not under contract, we those are not the deals that we're looking for.
All right. Do you want to do the topic now? We're an hour in.
Yeah, we can make it happen.
Okay, let's throw this back up.
Okay.
I like these.
What?
I see the difference is the same artist.
Yeah. Yes. He's only going to do what I tell him to do. So I've been getting some inspiration from some other thumbnails to put my own twist on it or whatever. So
Jordan, we see you in the chat, so don't leave.
yeah. So yes, sir, Jordan. Okay. So all right. So the topic today is motivated. So you have a motivated seller and a cash buyer on the contract. Okay. So you're home free. So what's next? Okay, so now you need to know who's going to close the deal. Now, uh, some wholesalers, they only allow their deals to be closed with their title company and their closing attorney. Okay, now, and that probably works most of the time. I don't know. I really don't put that much thought into it in that way. I just try to just make it work for everybody involved. And plus, with some buyers, they're only going to close with who they close with, especially if they're paying the closing costs, which I get it. The one with all the gold normally makes the decision. They have the gold in this situation, which is the money to buy the house. So what's next, though, is closing your deal. Now, I've simplified the process with a document. I call it my closing detail sheet. You can get a copy of that. I hate to tell y'all to do that, but I don't think the code is set up. But text the word close, CLOSE, to the number. And that video will it'll explain how to fill it out, but also how to get it for free and filled out and download and sent over. So what it does is it simply identifies who's the seller, who's the buyer, the address of the property, the sales price, who's paying what, who's receiving what. In most cases, your assignment fee, who's paying the closing cost, and another comment section to say, call me or whatever if you have any questions. So after you have a seller and a buyer on the contract, then it's time to close and get paid. So hopefully there's not any title issues. There's no tripping on either side of the seller or buyer side of it. And structuring your deal as far as setting it up, that'll also depend. If both the buyer and seller are local, you can set it up where they technically don't meet. The buyer may come in first, sign, fund the deal, then the seller comes in a couple hours later. It could be done that way. Some people use blind HUDs where the seller only sees one side of their transaction, the buyer sees their side, but they still may meet at the closing table, and you just have to be there or someone representing you to introduce, because if they've never met each other, you have to be the liaison between the two. Hey, Ms. Johnson, this is my capital partner on this deal, Bobby. So boom, everybody sits down, sign the paperwork. Seller gets their money, you get your money. Buyer gets possession of the house. You move on to the next deal. So a number of ways to do it or whatever. But what happens next after you have a motivated seller and a cash buyer in the contract? It's time to close to get paid. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's that piece that he just explained is what they call transaction coordination. So it's just all about you have the deal together, you have the signatures, and now it's time to submit everything over to your, like you just said, submit everything over. And then you want to make sure that if it's not you, someone is keeping up with the status of it. So, if they're using cash, then that should be a fairly simple process. If they're using hard money lending, there may need to be like an appraisal. So you want to know when the inspection is going, like for the appraisal. If they need the due diligence period, you want to make sure that you coordinate to get, keys or give them access to the house or the property. So you just want to make sure that those steps are done, and you want to just keep everyone updated, and you want to stay in close communication with the closing agent. But that's what it is. You're in the home run now. It's just admin work at that point.
Home free.
All right, let's go ahead and add Jordan to the chat.
Jordan.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hello. What does your quote in the back say?
It says failure is not in reaching your goal, but in having no goal to reach.
That's true.
Yeah. So I got a question about a property that I have under contract right now. So the sellers had a tenant in there for about a year and a half. They never had a written agreement or anything. It was just all verbal. The tenant stopped paying after 3 months, and so he's been trying to get him out the property, and then he had a stroke, and now he just moves really slow, and he just wants to get rid of it. He tried to turn off the water, the heat, and everything to get the person out. And he told me he said I give up, and he signed it to me for $5,000. I think the ARV is probably around like 135. But I just want to know, like, because I can't get access to the property because the tenant situation, I can't get photos or anything. I just want to know, are there buyers out, because I'm new to this, so are there buyers out there that don't care, that'll, if it's at a good enough discount, that'll just buy it anyway and try to take care of it later?
Oh yeah.
There are, but if you have a property that is assigned to you for $5K and it's worth $130K, and you just have, because you got to remember, we're in a problem-solving business. Do you have the ability, or either can have some type of resources where you can put towards solving this problem? I ask that because I don't know what state are you in?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh yeah, you should be okay. They're pretty landlord friendly. But I would have him sign over a limited power of attorney for that property. That gives you the ability to now start the process to doing an eviction. But start that first.
Okay.
But if you can, but once you get that in motion, because sometimes they know the system, it might take another 45, 60, 90 days or 6 months. You never know.
Okay.
As you start that process, they're going to start to get notices, but you want to go ahead and see if they could do cash for keys.
Okay.
You basically say, hey, what would it take for me to get you out? I will pay your moving expenses. I will have somebody come move you. What do you need to? Do you need money for another place to stay, like for a deposit? What do you need? What would get you out? And then let them give you a number. And whatever that number is, have them sign the agreements that once they complete these certain things, that they'll get that money. But try to get cash for keys to get them out of the property. And then you can go in and you can, if you need to clean it out or whatever, I'll just do like a light clean out and then post that property for sale on the off market. And that way, because let's just say you have a $5,000 property, maybe you spend another $10,000 to get them out. You're in it for $15,000, but it's worth $130,000. Are you willing to do all of that to make $115K?
Oh yeah. Well, so yeah, but the ARV is around 130, 135. But
even if they trash the place, right? They're living in it, right? Even if they trash the place, right? Let's just say on the high end, maybe let's just say that let's just say high end, $40,000 in repairs. Mm-hmm. So you're saying $65,000 in. Right? Is that my math? No. So no, 55. I'm off. But even that minus the ARV, right? You still have a spread in there. Even if you want to get a discount, you can still make 5 figures, upwards of 5 figures on that property. Okay. So, I think it would be worth the trouble, because whoever solves the problem makes the most money. Mm-hmm. And so if you have the ability to give them some cash for keys, even if you got another investor that had the cash, tell them the situation, tell them, hey man, I just need to borrow, X amount of money. We can split 50 grand together, or we can split, 60 grand together. You wouldn't have had any money out of your pocket. You would just did the work, and then you would still, be able to net, $25,000. So, okay. But I would definitely start the process of the eviction. and get the power of attorney so you can start that, and then that way, and get it notarized, and then that way you'll at least be able to have say so over their property. And but try to get them the cash for keys. Usually it works. You start dangling money in front of their face.
Yeah.
It'll usually work. And they'll figure out another place to stay and do it to somebody else.
All right.
They've done it to other people, you know.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So to get the limited power of attorney for it, do I need to talk to a lawyer first to get, some kind of official?
I have a copy of one. If you text to Ty, I'll send it to Ty. But I would, if you had someone that had some type of legal, I would still, because I'm not an attorney.
Yeah.
I did purchase it from an attorney like a while ago, maybe probably like 5 or 7 years ago. So I would still say, look at it. I've used it and it's worked for me, but I don't know how it would work for you. So I'm not an attorney. I don't want to give you legal advice.
Yeah. I got you. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Did you have anything, Ty?
No, I would. That's what I would recommend is see if you can network through some of the Facebook groups or whatever to find a real creative attorney in that market, in your market there, and they'll do the resolution. But the main thing is if those numbers are accurate, that 5,000 and 130 ARV, yeah, you can make that happen. It may just take a little time, and the main thing is if you have to pay them to leave, you just let them know, hey man, like you're going to have to leave. Why not get paid to leave?
Yeah.
Right. So make some money from this. You got us. You got us. So, hey, you can get us one more time or whatever. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it a lot. That helps
just so you know, cutting off someone's water, even if it's at your own house and they're renting, is illegal. So.
Oh, for real? I didn't know.
I don't want anybody else doing that.
Okay. That's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
But all right. Thank you guys. That helps a lot. Appreciate it.
No problem at all, my man. Thanks for joining us.
All right, for sure.
How you want to put our info up?
Yeah.
Info.
Got it.
All right, go ahead.
So it is Libra month, Libra season. So everybody can feel free to wish me a birthday every day of Libra season. I'm one of those.
September?
When is exactly your birthday, Miss Thing?
September. Yeah, September through October is Libra season. End of September. But
all of October, or there's an end date? Or?
No, I think Scorpio season, I don't really think about that, but Scorpio season starts around, I think, like maybe the 23rd.
You'll stop what you
Who's a Scorpio?
Your birthday Friday?
Yeah, her birthday's Friday.
Libra. Oh, she's on the first of the month.
Saturday.
Oh, okay.
All October Libras matter. Like, I mean, I love the September Libras, but all October Libras. Wait a minute, it's Friday. Oh, sorry. That's it. She's on the 30th. My birthday. Anyway.
Hers is Saturday.
Okay, perfect. Well, I don't have to recant anything I just said. So anyway, but anyway, I'm just being silly. But it's on the 15th of October. I saw that, but no, I'm just being silly. But no, go over. Check me out on TikTok, on Instagram. If you are a realtor or you're thinking about being a realtor or broker and you're trying to figure out how you can wholesale properties and be a realtor and do it all legally, you definitely want to connect with me. You definitely want to grab the information. I have some information, some education for you guys. So let me know how I can be a resource to you, but you should definitely check out my my pages, even on YouTube. I'm gonna be posting a lot. I just recorded like 7 videos, so be pumping out a lot of information, especially for people that are wearing multiple hats in real estate. so they understand how to not only be licensed but also be an investor as well. So, but yeah, that's all I have.
Boom. Okay, we really appreciate Kelly joining us today. We got a lot of good questions answered. So if you didn't get your question answered, post them in the comment section of any video. We answer those on a daily basis. So with that being said, we'll be here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 8:05 Eastern. Here are the times and the days. Make sure you like, share, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitch, here on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the little bell so you are alerted whenever we do go live. And when new content is uploaded, we're out.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me and I'll text you back.
Text me and I'll text you back.
You text me then I'll text you back.
Text me then I'll text you back.
TikTok, you don't stop.
I will help you make your paper stack.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now?
205-960-5243. Now you know 205-960.